Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff Miller. I'm the pastor at the Belton First United Methodist Church, and we are doing devotions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We try to get them done by noon, but sometimes, the uploading, the internet is just a little slow. And we are continuing in our devotions, working our way through the book of Philippians, Paul's letter of joy to the church. And this being the week after Easter, Philippians 3:10, Paul says, I want to know Christ and experience the power that raised him from the dead. And I just want to talk about that word experience, what it means to experience the power that raised Jesus from the dead. Because experiencing something is more than just being a distant spectator. Experiencing something, it has to do with some participation in it, that you get to experience a little bit of that, of what is happening. I had the joy of being with my two brothers in Arizona during spring training for Major League and professional baseball. And we were there, and we were more than spectators because you get close to the field, you get to interact, and we had conversations with coaches. One of them a pitching coach for the Angels. And then we were able to have conversation with veteran players, Bert Campaneris, John Blue Moon Odom, Fergie Jenkins. And it was more than just being a spectator. We got to experience it. Now, we weren't on the field, and we weren't in the clubhouse, and we weren't back in the fitness room lifting weights. But as the players come out, they're there on the practice fields, they're walking by, and you can sense the atmosphere. For some of these young men that were there, probably for the first time, you could feel the hopes and the dreams and their aspirations that were there, and it was something that we got to experience. When Paul says, I want to experience the power that raised Jesus from the dead, it's more than just kind of seeing it off in a distance, but is somewhat feeling it, participating in it, experiencing it, being part of it. And just as my brothers and we got to experience from our aspect spring training, I know that we weren't in the tomb with Jesus, and we weren't there in Jerusalem in that locked room with the disciples, or at the Garden Cemetery with the women when Christ came and they saw the risen Christ. But we still experience the risen Christ today. And I want to know and experience the power that raised Jesus from the dead, that gave him life. I want to know the power so I can experience the life that Christ has for me. So I can experience that abundant life, a life that is filled with God's grace and mercy, a life that has abundant joy. Because I want to know the power and experience that power of a life that comes in Jesus Christ. May you experience the power of God that raised Jesus Christ from the dead in your life today. Amen.